And yeah, it's
In
just hard to look at it. I mean, their frontliner, maybe the
Yeah.
Graves, so maybe
Yeah,
go
the
for that
Graves.
hybrid.
Definitely the Graves. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Or they can bait or fight from a distance. But the problem here is if you're accounting for range, the only one with the longest range here is the Ziggs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The chosen champions right now has relatively short range for the side of SUNSPARKS. But of course, if you have short range, then you have some sort of dueling capacity. You have some sort of this a little bit of survivability. For example, the Graves is the true grit passive. But all you need to do is actually buy a lot. If you are a Rakan, you buy a Bramble Vest and you're good to go. You
Mm-hmm.
reduce a lot of healing here for the side of SUNSPARKS.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you know what? Considering that SUNSPARKS has a very damage focused draft when it comes to the early game, they're going in for that early rotations into the bottom side of the map. And I think Olaf still doesn't have his true damage skill. Yeah, direct a swing. So he couldn't actually just contest this very, very easy because he went in for the vicious strikes first skill. But now it's gonna be the Orianna going for the flank while Olaf is still on top lane with everyone converging into this
Yeah.
part of the
Very heavy, right? In this part of the blue buff, ladies and gentlemen, still sitting at level 2 fight. Let's see here, Posey Jungle to the front line. Reckless swing, where is it? Auto attacks, it doesn't matter. He actually chosen second skill plus the undertow. Let's see here, members of SUNSPARKS, they're capitalizing. And what are you saying that we cannot win team fights? If it comes down to duel, why not? It's very early, but nonetheless, SUNSPARKS capitalized with just a 1-1, but the lead is in the hands of LIYAB and 5-7-2-2. Very ballsy play to chase down and shoo away the Orianna and this Rakan. Olaf actually has no reckless swing
yeah.
during that fight. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I think that is the thing, right? I think that just puts Olaf at a bit of a disadvantage because he doesn't have that true damage to
Yeah.
produce massive amounts of damage this
Yeah.
early in the matchup. So I think that just puts him at a weird situation where he could get
Yes.
easily killed and not even produce that massive damage. But nevertheless, you know what? It's a 1-for-1. So it's a good trade. I think it's actually a kind of a good trade for LIYAB Esports
Yeah.
because they got in the first blood.
Yeah, they got in the first blood. A little bit of a 100 lead against SUNSPARKS here. And you can actually see how quick they can make their pickups. There's the knock-up. Nice shield by the Orianna. But still he gets tagged by the end of the line. And I think 1-for-1 is delivered here down at the mid. Also want to emphasize earlier, Infinity, why Olaf has no reckless swing. Because the running thread would be, if you start red, you choose second skill and reckless swing. But if you start blue, you choose undertow and second skill. Now, let's see here towards that. This time, the reckless swing we're emphasizing is here and ever present. And no wild growth is available on the level 3 Lulu. Pozo Jungle pushes forward against SUNSPARKS. This is where you feel the lack of front lines onto the side of SUNSPARKS.
They could just go nearer to the fight because you have the Olaf that could just tank out damage. You also have the Camille with the Hexic Ultimatum.
Going forward here onto the blue buff. They have the battle dance in towards the grand entrance. 5-7-2-2 will not fall back. He can shred through the health of this Olaf. And you can see that this Orianna is a bit late for the party. 4-5, the running score, ladies and gentlemen, for this game.
And just to emphasize that frontliners that is missing to the SUNSPARKS, look at the draft of LIYAB Esports. You have a ton. You have Olaf, you have Camille, you have Rakan. So it's basically an overflow of frontliners for the side of LIYAB Esports and just scarcity for the side of SUNSPARKS.
For the side of SUNSPARKS, and very beautiful combo of actually surprising the Corkis advance with a flash shockwave by the Orianna. Now, why do a lot of Orianna actually utilize the flash shockwave? Aside from style points, honestly, one advantage of a flash shockwave is that you get an instant shield right after the flash shockwave combo because you use the shockwave right after the command guard. So you have a shield if you stay to the front line. Not to mention it's quicker than command attack shockwave. Because if you use command attack shockwave, the idea is you place your ball a little bit in advance compared to the instant burst and crowd control that shockwave, that flash shockwave can do. And by the way, when it comes to shockwave, guys, shockwave got no delay, honestly. Its knock up, its pullback is a little bit instant. Let's see here. We have the Extec Ultimatum against the Corki. Force the flash away down at the Valkyrie. Flash in also done by the Olaf, and I think will be enough at least to sustain the Corki to fall back because of this Lulu shield. Here comes the members of Team SUNSPARKS and sets here once again rolling with his very aggressive killer instinct, and that leaves the Graves to die. This is once again the situation of SUNSPARKS with no front line, and they're gonna be going LIYAB that is for a push maybe on the lanes. The Drake is in the hands of SUNSPARKS.
Interesting. I think the Olaf there went in too deep. I think he just went in too deep for a kill wherein everyone was already waiting. And considering you also have the Lulu with the Wild Growth, just puts Corki at a very good spot to still live in that fight, which in turn puts Olaf in a bad situation.
Very beautiful juggle also by the members there of LIYAB. Fate goes in, end of the line, gets the tag on Tokimura. But I think that's it. Now, Ardent Sensor is available for the Lulu, and of course, the building up tension in this map falls into the side of the Herald Pit. Hold that thought. Into the Tribe Rush, you got Posu Jungle also bullying up Fate. And I think that would allow some members here, Tokima and Mirts, to get closer onto the turret in the Baron.
20 seconds remaining for it to come up. You see the resets from LIYAB Esports, from Misfortune, from Oriana, and even from the rest of the team. This puts them at a very good spot. And look at the items. You have the Trinity Force already for the Camille. You have the Shin and the Phage for that Olaf as well. Archangel Staff for that Oriana, and BRK for that Misfortune. And similarly, you are seeing like a Black Cleaver and Archangel Staff, Trinity Force as well, with a power spike of a Corki at that item. So this is going to be a massive fight from both of these teams.
Honestly, Infinity, I thought this game would be one-sided in favor of LIYAB. But at this rate, I think it is 50-50. SUNSPARKS, I don't sense them that they are behind yet for this game. But I really believe LIYAB is still rolling with a better composition. But this Graves only sitting at 1, 2, 4. Even with 2 deaths, you have to account for the assist and the participation 100% on the kills of his team.
And now it's going to be the Rift Herald being dominated by SUNSPARKS. And now LIYAB Esports is forced to just go for turrets instead. This is not as good of a trade-off. This is not as best of a trade-off. But it is still a trade-off that LIYAB Esports did to just come back of a objective disadvantage that they received just now from SUNSPARKS, as Rift Herald is now being casted into the Baron lane.
Here is the position. Members here of SUNSPARKS is vulnerable on a shockwave combo. Here comes the flash in. Grand entrance to 2 members, and even Olaf is in the front line. Well, rather they would choose someone who will be left behind, and that would be of the Graves. No surprise in this kind of composition that this will happen. You will have a group up. You'd want the group up to become more strong, to have a better formation, but eventually someone will be left out when it's time to actually fall back, and that someone will die because there's just a lot of chasing capacity from the side of LIYAB. There's the command dissonance, and there's also the Olaf, and the Olaf can capitalize on that.
Like you have the Sasageo.
Yeah, and even the Camille, right.
Yeah. You know what? Earlier, we're talking about One Punch Man. We're talking about Force Fire. We're now talking about Attack on Titans in this game.
I mean, League of Legends is really so not original. It's always been a copycat game, honestly. Copying a lot of ideas from animes, from pop culture. Nice, Riot.
I like the irony. I like the sarcasm there, Shinbu. But you know what's not sarcasm? Is we have an Infernal Drake in 20 seconds.
Here we go. Let's see. Getting back into the game. A few seconds before the Infernal Drake indeed. And also to account the fact here that Team LIYAB is already closing the curtain in against SUNSPARKS. In what way? Look at the wards. Look at the vision. Only one on the bottom lane. And there's very little option to actually get closer on this Infernal Drake because a little attempt, and even just speaking on this brush near the Infernal Drake will spell doom to SUNSPARKS.
Lack of frontliners as well to just go into the Dragon's Pit and tank all the damage, because that is missing for the side of SUNSPARKS, and that is just not possible for them right now as we have another fight in the top side of the map.
See here, we have Tokimo Ariado, ladies and gentlemen, and make it rain, auto attack, and there goes the bullet time, burns the barrier against that Kaisa. Once again, this is it. This is the compositional advantage of LIYAB. Members of SUNSPARKS are now converging and clumping together, and they need to steadily regain vision on their own jungle should LIYAB really advance their campaign closer to the base of SUNSPARKS.
they were just not able to dominate the early game. The Ziggs was not able to get a lot of turrets, only one into the Baron lane. The rest of the team were not really able to go for some objectives that are very, very key when it comes to Infernal Drake. And right now, they're sitting at the 6k gold deficit. So, very, very massive disadvantage right now for the side of SUNSPARKS.
5-11, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the thing, it's a matter of taking control of the entrance brush right now. We have the Baron. Obviously, Team LIYAB won't capitalize on one. Look at that, they got a campaign into the bottom lane. Hextech Ultimatum. We do know that Chani has that flash, still has his barrier. I'm not sure if does he have the stasis. He will burn his own flash. He's able to survive. Now follow up by his teammates, and now LIYAB will be punished here by SUNSPARKS. 2 members gets blocked out, but okay, we get the Graves dueling up with the Misfortune. Here's the thing, if LIYAB got separated, I think SUNSPARKS has a lot of capacity in chasing them down. The finisher, collateral damage in the face of Misfortune. Infinity, that's 3 members gone against LIYAB. Oh my god.
I just don't get it.
Yeah, they got here onto the mid lane. Of course, the shield will sustain him, coming in from that killer instinct. But still, the continuity of this fight will fall in favor of SUNSPARKS. With the flash, they will clap on. Flash away, done also by the Regana, and that gives some freedom for SUNSPARKS to maybe fall back because it's just so risky to start this Baron.
And now going back to what I was saying a while ago, we're in LIYAB Esports. Their draft is built to go for team fights. And if you go separated, where is the purpose of your draft? Where is the utilization of your draft? There is no maximum efficiency when it comes to those synergical plays coming in from your team. And looking at SUNSPARKS, they're built to go for damage. They're built to go for that 1v1 types of setups that are going to dominate LIYAB Esports. And that is exactly what happened from that 3 kills that went to the side of SUNSPARKS.
Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, this gonna be... I was thinking it was LIYAB that got the control here, but they need to be careful in the positionings, right? Infinity, I think really getting separated here is very risky for LIYAB. I also feel that I underestimated the chasing capacity, the individual chasing capacity here of SUNSPARKS, especially on the chase done by Fate against the Misfortune.
And you also have the killer instinct as well from that Kaisa with a poking capabilities that could just go for that damage. And I think that Kaisa was just so smart pop of the GA of that Olaf. And that disables Olaf to go confidently into the backside of the fight and just dominate the ADCs. Now he can't do that easily because the damage is just over the top for SUNSPARKS. And considering you also have the Gatling gun from that Corki, that's massive damage from their team.
Yeah, man. Here we have a lot of vision. If you actually check the Fog of War, crazy vision from LIYAB. Just look at that. Even a ward on the Wolf camp here.
Yeah.
And then actually spots the retreat. Let's see here. Advance. Ragnarok casted on by Team LIYAB. They're now advancing. Grand entrance is already burned. But of course, nice angle there by the Misfortune on the bullet time. Here comes the re-engage. Killer Instinct will peel out. No more Ragnarok. Teleport is coming in too from the Corki. Does he have the special delivery? No, he won't. But at least this stops the members of Team LIYAB despite the vision game that they have against SUNSPARKS in taking the Baron. Hextech Ultimatum gets casted too. Misses the 3rd skill. And I think that should be it. Members of LIYAB, this Oriana and Camille will fall back.
Although the jungler has been fallen by the side of SUNSPARKS, and now that enables LIYAB Esports to freely go to the Ocean Drake.
They have the Ocean Drake here. I think this is a free license to take. Members here of Team SUNSPARKS, they know that they can only be reactive, especially with this composition. I love though the lesson here. SUNSPARKS showing us how do you play this kind of composition, right? We do understand how LIYAB wants to capitalize on their advantage. Without doubt, what you'd want is to actually chase down SUNSPARKS. Be snappy with your engages. But SUNSPARKS anticipates it, and they're banking on the re-engage. They're banking on the re-engage. Even Chami, man. Chami is really good at these zigs in surviving, honestly.
I mean, yeah, the Satchel charge as well to go back to safety that easily. I think that is his key play when it comes to just going back to safety, and at the same time knocking up any teams in this fight. And also, I think it's just SUNSPARKS, having that damage composition. They really just need to go for pickoffs. I think they can't go for team fights, but do take note, if they go for pickoffs and they got the member against LIYAB Esports, the draft of LIYAB Esports are just gonna crumble down to the ground.
Yes. If we're accounting for the late game, right? You're emphasizing the late game. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, if it comes to the late game, the one that best scales into the late game are duelists. And for the side here of Team SUNSPARKS, they got 3 duelists. They got 3 duelists. But the thing here is that they also have one champion who is quick on deleting turrets, but this is the snappy play that we are asking for. Collateral damage is also used to get the distance in, but not quite enough for the Graves to survive. Here is the Blade of the Ruined King proc on Tokimo Ariado. Ikachi and Rain casted on, but Undertow hurts Fortuna. And with that jungler deleted, the members here of Team LIYAB will also plan on deleting and taking the battle.
I mean, deleting that jungler for SUNSPARKS was the key there for LIYAB esports to go for objectives, and they've gotten completely perfectly against the enemy team.
If there's one more members here of Team SUNSPARKS that will be killed, that might be the game. Pozo jungle, he didn't spot! Sets! With that Sky's Blue. Had it been, that would be over for Sets. But nonetheless, LIYAB is in the clear helm of this game.
And if we look at the items right now, look at that. BRK, Mortal Reminder, Infinity Edge for that Misfortune. That's gonna deal a hell of a damage right now in terms of team fights. And you also have Orianna and Olaf with the Trinity Force already with the GA. So that is gonna increase their defensibility when it comes to the game, and their confidence when it comes to initiating team fights, which I think is gonna be very important right now. And look at the side of SUNSPARKS. They don't have GAs. So one kill for LIYAB esports is gonna be big time, and that is gonna be scraping off massive chunks to the side of SUNSPARKS.
That is the weakness of the SUNSPARKS composition. Get one very big advantage for oh my god, Team LIYAB. Shockwave onto Fate, delivering him towards Zap Health. Now LIYAB, because they have won the fight during the middle part of the map, now they're pushing towards inhibitor turrets here, pulling off a 1-2-2 composition, and they're gonna be leaving Tokimo Ariado onto the top lane side. The thing here is that Tokimo still has this hook shot, and with the members focusing towards Tokimo, they will be pushing the inhibitor turret, already taken in, and it's gonna be very difficult as the Ziggs will be forced in burning all his skills. He's just going for the wave clear, but the Baron buff will provide a little bit more durability for this minion wave. You can actually see how the Orianna is protecting also this cannon minion. Only one inhibitor remains for the side of SUNSPARKS.
It's just the defensibility, the shield of Orianna that keeps him alive, and also considering that Ziggs already wasted his ultimate into that fight, only targeting Orianna, it was a really hard time for you to go for that AoE type of setup for that team fight potential against Team LIYAB esports. And I think, you know what, you also have the Rakan, which also have that knockups and even a charm available for himself, and even the bullet time of a Misfortune. So it was really just putting SUNSPARKS at the very corner of a room.
Probably SUNSPARKS is not yet there. Oh my god, deleted. Ladies and gentlemen, down at the Lulu, no Wild Growth should be available. Is the special delivery, but mainly landing towards the mountains. And let's see here, as Pozo Jungle will still be alive. A flash into the Hexet Ultimatum should be enough to get the kill here against the Corki. Another cornering sense. No killer instinct will be able to save you, and I think that's the game with the minion wave knocking in down at the mid. Members here of Team LIYAB focuses on the Nexus turret and finishes this battle for third match with 2-1.
Yeah.